All right, greens. Another day in paradise. So yeah, Miami Mall, Alien. That was definitely Alien War for sure. I don't think that was like a test of or the government glitch. You know, was it HARP or whatever it is that they have? I doubt it. No, if it was like 10 feet tall beings that were fighting each other apparently, and then they were, I guess, walking and glitching at the same time, the kind of humanoid type of creature beings. So yeah, definitely, and it was happened in the New Year. Miami is definitely a reptilian area, but yeah, it was definitely a war, and obviously the government couldn't have covered up that well, and I guess the cops couldn't talk about it too much. But I mean, people are eyewitnesses are saying a portal open. I won't doubt it. Something's definitely going on. Yeah, my wife got hit pretty hard recently by a timeline war, so yeah, I'm all happy about it. Yeah, I don't know why they want us here. We're just here to get beat up, I guess, huh? Yeah, this is just a blast. That's what they call it, a war. Yeah, it's a war with no end, apparently, and no happiness either, it seems. I guess you have to watch other people enjoy this. So anyway, it's hard to get like a real read on this because it is a war, so they're not gonna like tell you all detail for detail. I mean, you get a version of it, but you know, it's yeah, this is kind of a touchy subject. So, well, obviously, there's two different groups that are fighting each other. Obviously, some kind of reptilian frequency there. Doesn't mean it was all reptilian, but there's some kind of reptilian vibe that was there. It's also some kind of hybrid gray race of some sort. Yeah, some kind of creature. Now, was that like done intentionally? I don't think so. Might have some kind of guardians watching over like a portal or something like that and got attacked or whatever it might be, just to cause chaos. So obviously, there's probably much more to it than that, but either way, yeah, it's pretty cool though. Of course, like, yeah, it's part of also some kind of disclosure, but you know they're just going to cover up, and the news isn't doing very good at it. And yeah, people don't believe me. Most people are asleep anyways. Who cares, right? I mean, unless you're there and you get to experience it, most people probably won't care unless you're like a ufologist person or something like that. So it's a lot more interesting than the presidential thing that's going on and everything else that's out there. So that's pretty cool. So it's not, yeah, if you're there to see it, it's like, what are you going to do about it anyway, right? Just sit there and watch like everybody else. Take me to your leader. Maybe the grass is greener over there. Maybe not. Maybe it's not green on either side. All right, sign us on the current for our sessions. We have a shop here. All right. So yeah, some of us live in the groundhog day life. The same thing over and over happens. Yes, it's a great existence here. So this is going to be a tough one to tap into because it's just definitely portals. Definitely just they just whoever that started that fight, obviously, you know, did everything they could. I don't know if the idea was to punch themselves into this reality or if that was done intentionally. It's not very clear there. Obviously, there's a turf war, alien, yeah, some kind of. It's hard to say if it like came from some kind of star, like a different star system or something. I don't know. Just it's not. Yeah, that's something that you probably don't want to know anyway. It does fight the beings that caused it. There is some human trafficking frequency there. Not that you can go out there and save the kids or whatever, but most likely it has some connection to it on a multi-dimensional level. Probably off-world also. So yeah. Doesn't mean it was those beings specifically, but they're probably connected to some kind of off-world human colony somewhere. Who knows? We'll never really know. This is all just hearsay, basically. But Yeah, it's hard to say if this is gonna. I mean, it's in the beginning of the year of all things, it just started to come out. This is what the ninth now. So yeah. Hopefully this year gets better. I don't know. I'm not having. Yeah, my New Year is not going anywhere. Nothing excited about. Jeez. I mean, last year was better than this year. Jeez, that's bad. Yes, that's definitely not starting out so great. So yeah, it's easier for other people to say. When you're living, it's a different story. So, all right, we're going to get different perspectives of, I guess, again, Arcturian energy. This is where it's kind of tough. It's like, you don't know. Yeah, like I said, it's a war too. So it's just, you're never always going to get the full or anything. I don't know. Even yeah, you don't really always want the full story either. You end up getting a portal in your backyard, coming after you too. So there's that also. So sometimes it's better just people don't believe any of this. That way we can all sleep somewhat tonight, maybe for at least 3 hours. Oh, somebody's there. If you can see her, I kind of see her. So that's kind of rare for her to sleep up there. It's been a while. So yeah, that's usually Fritzy's spot. But usually they fluctuate. She's waving her tail at me. So that's Priscilla, Queen of the Mountain. All right. So we'll go. I guess I take cat to the Arcturian energies. I guess cat to the Zetas. I guess. Like I say, take it for whatever it is. At least it's a tall. Maybe the tall. I don't know. Tall whites. Maybe if I feel like and go into that. So. We start with the Arcturians and move on from there. Right. Blessings. Greetings, Arcturians, blessings. You can say it's a multi-dimensional shift. You could say it's also not. It was not this. It was not necessarily connected to this world. It just came into this world's dimension. It was not intentionally to do so. But the beings that are causing this, they don't want to be named, or we don't even want to name them. But there's two different species fighting each other. One had a more stronger reptilian connection. Doesn't mean it was necessarily a reptilian race, but it had a lot of reptilian DNA. And there was a bit of a gray hybrid energy with the other group that really wasn't doing anything to anyone, but was fighting off this more demonic frequency archon energy, kind of like a mutated alien species that tried to cause difficulties for this dimension, but not necessarily the idea was to come into this dimension, but to really cause a lot of negativity here in your world. It's just especially starting the new year. So think of it like just causing difficulties where you can't see it, and it just it's just like you don't see it, but you can feel the aggravation. Think of it, especially at a mall, which is excellent. Just a nice populated place, just to make people feel very uncomfortable. It got out of hand, and it came into this reality. You can say they're putting out negativity throughout the mall area, just to cause difficulties, and there was a war there that brought it into your dimension. It was never the intention to bring it here. So, but it does happen. So to give you some kind of perspective, think of it as, you go to an amusement park or wherever, and it's just to lower the frequencies. Think of it that way. And they're in the fourth and fifth dimension sometimes, and just kind of like spreading out low frequencies for whatever reason. Just to put out negative energies for certain people, just pick up on their insecurities, whatever it might be, just to cause difficulties with their families and so on. Look at it from that point of view. And then it got out of hand. So, and not to say they're alien beings. So some of them, they don't always they're not supposed to look pretty, not intentionally too. Well, they look like that, like a Zeta hybrid group that's not exactly full Zeta, but has a lot of their DNA. They don't have to look like, obviously, they are humanoid. They don't have to look like a human. they don't need clothes. They might have some kind of armor or whatever it is that they need for their society. But it's all really built into their mental and their outer frequency, what they can pick up on. They don't do human stuff. They don't pick up their clothes. They don't go to the shopping or anything like that. They just incarnate and do their duty, whatever it might be. It might not be exciting. Again, Earth incarnations aren't the most exciting either. But it's a different type of difficulty, you could say. I mean, actually, sometimes incarnating on Earth, where you just go to the beach and just lay around. A lot of these alien groups don't do anything like that. They're always doing some kind of job. But it's not like they're going to starve to death if they don't do it. It's just like a sense of duty. Think of it that way. Blessings. Greetings, Grace. Send your energies. The dispute, you could say it was a lack of communication and a lot of self, indulgence to basically two different one alien species picked a fight with the other one. Just basically, it's just got extremely aggressive and just did what they felt like. And was it the intention to come into your reality from what we see? But they didn't really care. They became so angry and just did whatever they felt like, and just ended up into your dimension. Think like school bullies that just basically, they're already having, a life crisis within themselves. And it does feel like this group was rejected from other groups also. So it's not like they care. It's not like it's a respected alien group. Far from it. It's just basically a bunch of thugs. The ones that started it. The other ones are trying to stop it. I believe those are the ones that are actually seen. The 10 feet tall beings. They're not the ones that were starting the fight. They're like the ones trying to stop it, from what I can gather. Of course, you go by what you feel, but there's always some kind of and the glitch has to do basically for them to keep hidden. They're more modern, the more positive ones, or neutral, you can say, just monitoring, the area, protecting it to a certain level. Also, not there to cause any difficulties. The ones that are there to cause difficulties just had a chip on their shoulder. And just, why not? They have nothing to lose. I believe at this point they're being hunted down at this point, which is what we can see. But it doesn't concern you. Yes, humanity is still, humanity does need some kind of a wake-up call every once in a while. It's not, even the positive alien beings that come here obviously manipulate society to give you a delusional future that probably will never exist. Well, because even the manipulative aliens, they get pulled into their own nonsense also. So they go with you and the humans to Wonderland and get nowhere with it. So even in the fourth dimension, even the fifth dimension, all alien groups have some kind of difficulty that you have to go through, no matter what. Now, if you're in the spirit realms, everything becomes neutral and you can finally have a place of peace. When you incarnate, of course, it all depends. You can go to a place that's not so manipulative. There's always those places. But then you don't interfere. You can't interfere. You get to areas where you're just like, okay, I'm at peace. You're in a vacation place, whatever it might be. But then you see the chaos everywhere. But the rule is for some of them not to mess with anything. You might put in your 2 cents to improve. Not that anybody's going to listen. But this universe is technically a chaotic universe, of course. Well, you're seeing a lot of it here. Obviously, it's worse in other places, actually, but you actually can see it. But these are like creature beings. Like you see a giant insectoid creatures and all that. So this world has like a glimpse of what happens in the universe. It is a bit of a prison planet. It's not entirely. It's like half prison, half not. And those that is of a prison energy, they just need to go through. Some of it's just to figure themselves out. Some of them can't figure themselves out. Some of them have to be restrained here. Literally have to be imprisoned here. I think some of you know some of their lives, especially those that have a mental issue. Yeah, they find those with mental problems find their way here and just do everything they can to actually manipulate reality, which they can do, but then they have to be restrained. Some of you have relatives here that are just very powerful. Yeah, and some of those are Arcturian beings, but they're mentally ill. And when they have like an Arcturian energy and incarnate as a human or whatever it might be, they can so cause very like it was something you've seen in a fantasy. They can mentally really screw with people, and that's why they kind of put on bars and stuff, behind bars to keep out of sight to a certain level. When they're around other mentally ill beings, it's kind of hard for them to manipulate because they're all kind of on the same bizarre wavelength. So you can't mess with my mind, and but when you're dealing with regular people, they can easily get into the minds and turn it backwards. So that's. Greens, we got the tall whites. The skirmish that happened in your mall, Miami. These things happen they have a reason for why they occur. We don't always know why. Basically, your reality allows that door to open. Basically, here's a glimpse of what's happening in the universe. See if anybody cares. It closes. Others are like, wow, my whole life has changed. And those that are actually there physically have experienced it in some form at one time. And those that are sharing it, even if they don't believe it, because they want to be humans. Like, I don't want to look like a crazy person. So I just say, maybe it's human, maybe it's not human. But by the way, yes, it's bizarreness out there. I've seen it before. But I'm trying to be human. I'm trying to live a normal life. And hope you all think I'm crazy. Some might think that way. But as many of you know, there is crazy out there. And you can say that's another reason why this world is created the way it is, to kind of take a break from the insanity that's out there. Of course, you have a world that has none of that. But this one needs a glimpse of it. This world has so many different functions to it. It just has so many agendas. It's very, as you know, complicated. It's not always going to reveal itself, but there's parts of it like, by the way, it's an alien world. Oh, by the way, it's not an alien world. And you're not quite ready for insectoid beings to be walking the streets or alien beings to. I mean, obviously, you do have alien beings here, but they don't broadcast themselves. And that's the open secret. You haven't quite come into a society where this is more embraced. And once you start looking, humans start looking at themselves as that guy's alien, that person's that has a lot of tattoos, looks very alien-like, and so on, or yes, a dragon person, whoever it might be. The world's not ready to identify itself, as you can see. Some are. They don't teach us stuff in school. They might one day, of just not to be stereotype or anything, just to kind of give you more of an understanding of the different type of human races that are here. Not to go by race, just by, just your characteristics. And just to, you have to be really out there. It's kind of like, that would be more of similar to like alternative archaeology. Like they talk about Atlantis, Lemuria, and of course mainstream's like laughing about it, and it's like, So this is a kind of tough love also, meaning that your world needs, it needs a wake-up call every once in a while. Obviously, many of you would rather just the aliens to show up, even if it is under Tartarian dictator rule. At least the aliens are here after all. Problem is we're all enslaved. But you are to a certain level, not completely, but there is some that are enslaved, of course. Well, I think you got an idea of that. But you don't need ships in the skies. I mean, you do, but not there. Yes, it's all here. It's just not showing itself. That's all. There's a half of an alien race. There's the manipulations here is a lot of it. Half of it's human, half of it's alien. Humans here are just manipulating other humans, just the way it is. It doesn't always have to be due to alien influence. Just sometimes, and the aliens are here to try to track back so you're not so manipulated, but they can only do so much. When you want to be manipulated, it's like, okay, we tried to help you. We'll just want to keep an eye on it. And humanity with all this manipulation within the government, it's up to you on that one. Society can reject all of that manipulation. They're not ready for it. A lot of humans here are victims, victim mentality. So they keep blaming the corrupt government for everything. It's kind of like being in an abusive relationship. So there's still a lot of healing to go on. Blessings.